everybody out there, this is Seto, and today for you guys I'm going to be profiling for you a ritual deck. No, I am not profiling for you guys Neocloths. I'm profiling another ritual deck, that being Herald of Ultimateness. So before I get to today's deck profile, guys, there was just a couple of things I wanted to tell you guys. First off, they're doing construction work outside my house, so if you hear some random noise, that's because they're building a new pier, a new dock on the waterfront right below my house. Also, I know this deck profile is similar to some other deck profiles out there that have profiled Herald of Ultimateness, specifically Lynthia, who's a good YouTuber who I like to watch as well. But I did make some modifications and changes to the deck that I thought made the deck a little bit better. After playing with the deck for about 2 weeks now, online and in real life, I've been playing this deck a lot lately. It's been pretty much my main deck the last week, and about 2 weeks going on now, I guess you could say. But I did make some modifications to the deck to make it a little bit better, I thought. So after testing it, as I'll talk about it, after testing different ways of playing the deck, I found that the Starcraft Engine by far was the best way to run the deck, because the fact of the matter was, because this is pretty much Herald of Perfection Star Seraphs. The Starcraft Engine, the fact that they were fairies and light, and they could work with honest, just made them perfect for this deck. It felt like it was kind of tailor-made, I guess you could say. So, first off, we run our 3 Herald of Ultimateness. This is the main monster of the deck, I guess you could say. Like I said earlier, it is Herald, it is Starcraft Herald, I guess you could say, or Herald Starcraft. And even if you don't get this card out, you can still go off and win the duel just using your Starcraft Engine, because it's that powerful. But still, this is your main guy that says no to just about anything. Spells, traps, special summoning, monster effects, you name it, he negates it if you just discard a fairy. The guy that says no. Then we have, for the Ritual Engine, I guess you could say, we run our 3 Manju of 10,000 hands. You guys probably know what this does if you played against Neocloths over the last half a year now. You search a ritual spell or a ritual monster. Card's great. I would actually argue that it's better in this deck, because the fact of the matter is, Manju is actually a fairy attribute, if you haven't looked at that before. So that means that if you have Manju in hand, you can discard it with Herald of Ultimateness and negate something. Plus, he's that light attribute, so if you summon him out and have Honest in hand, you can stay on the field. You can Honest your opponent if they try to run over it. So, very good card. Definitely staple in just any ritual deck. I did try out things like Sonic Bird and Manju, just to see how they worked out in the deck, just for players' sake. For a couple of duels, I tried them out. And I found, at the end of the day, they were not good. Manju was mas o menos. Sonic Bird was bleh. It had no real synergy with the deck. It wasn't near as good as Manju. And so I decided to go the old route of Galen Dogra. So when I started playing Galen Dogra, I was like, oh, I'll just run 2, because you don't want to play that high of life point cost. But I found that I found more consistency in the deck with 3 of these guys. And the fact of the matter was, you usually only activated one per duel, so you weren't activating multiples. Yes, it could get stuck in your hand, it's not doing anything, but it just made the deck that much more faster than Sonic Bird and Manju to get out Herald of Ultimateness. Because what you would do is you would activate Galen Dogra's effect, send a monster from your extra deck to the graveyard, which would be Herald of the Arclight, which you've seen in a way be used by Necros. So they would send it to the graveyard, then you get the search for your ritual spell. Heck, because you run things like Call of the Haunted in the deck, you can bring this card back and use it for negation. So it works out. So 3 Garen Dogra. Then let's go into the Starcraft Engine, I guess you could say. We want our 3 Starcraft Scepter right there, and your 3 Starcraft Sovereignty, or the chair. So the scepter and the chair. This is your main part of the engine. You do run things like, I'll talk about later, Scales and Starcraft Scout. Because I found that just running these 6 cards and nothing, no other Star Scepters, tongue-tied, Star Seraph, oh my gosh, I can't pronounce them today. But what I'm trying to say is just by running these three, like you've seen in other deck builds, like maybe when these cards first came out over here to the TCG, in Shadal's, and in Stellar Knights, it got kind of clunky. But if you play the other Star Seraph monsters, it wasn't clunky, and the deck performed amazingly well. So that's why I always call it Star Seraph, like Herald, because pretty much you can just win with this core and not even summon the ritual monster. Or it could be the exact opposite. It just depends. So yes, you have your guy that pretty much pops cards on field when you exceed for level 3. Your draw power of the deck too. So very, very good cards. Then we run also your 3 scale, your Star Seraph scale, and your 2 Star Seraph scout. Scout and scales, this card scales I want to knock down to 2 of, but every time I do I'm like, what would I replace it with? I mean, I could replace it with a spell, a trap, something, but I'm kind of biting the bullet on that. So for right now it's staying as a 3 up. It's really nice because you can put Honest back on the top of your deck if you've gone through Honest. So sometimes I've gone through 3 Honest in a duel, really, because the fact of the matter is you can just put Honest back on the deck if you have a dead Star Seraph in your hand. Plus it does speed up the deck somewhat if you get like a clunky Star Seraph hand, so I'll give it the benefit of the doubt. Star Seraph Scout I feel like is a little bit of the unsung hero. Yeah, I know, you know, he just normally he special summons a Star Seraph monster, but sometimes, depending upon the hand, he can be clutch. So I definitely like 2 of him and 3 of this. And if you didn't know, I'll just explain these 2 here. So pretty much, Scout, you can, when he's normal summoned, you can special summon another Star Seraph monster. And Scales, its effect is pretty much, if you exceed level with him to make a level 3 exceed monster, so you know, in 3 materials, like Detaros or Ouroboros, mainly. Anytime your opponent special summons a monster, you get to draw 1 card, which is nice. And also his monster effect states that if you pretty much special summon him, you can pretty much special summon a Star Seraph monster from your hand and then add a light attribute monster to the top of your deck. So you can reuse Honest in that way. I just thought I may explain those because of those the Star Seraph monsters people don't see that much. So yes. Next I run 2 Archlord Christia. Christia is amazing in this deck. The fact of the matter that you can pretty much pitch Christia and reborn it back with Herald of Ultimateness. Misspoke. You can pitch it with Herald of Ultimateness and bring it back with Call of the Haunted is very, very good. So I was trying it as a 3 of for a while, but I found that it got a little bit too cloggy as a 3 of. Just personal opinion there, don't stone me. But as a 2 of, it worked magnifico. It was perfect. So I like it as a 2 of instead of a 3 of. Then 1 Meteion the Time Lord. So I was making this deck and I was just looking through different deck profiles of people that had done this deck before, and I was like, oh, Meteion the Time Lord. What is this card? And I've seen it. You know, I've heard of it before. I've seen it being played, but I never read the effect really. So I decided to read the effect, and I looked at it, and I was like, oh, that's a neat effect, Meteion. And my brother was actually making fun of me. He's like, oh, it's Doctor Who. It's a Time Lord. So there's the Doctor Who reference. So my nickname for him is actually Doctor Who. But beside the point, he is clutch. As a 1 of, he's amazing. He's actually bought me time. So sometimes I'll just, if I have really no other plays in the hand, first turn I'll just drop him on the field. And people are like, I don't want to attack him because I don't want all my stuff to get sent back. So it buys me time in that respect. Or they have to waste resources to get around him. But he's really, really clutch, I find, as a 1 of. So definitely him. Apologize for my phone going off. Next we have our 2 Honest staple. Everything in the main deck except Meteion is a freaking light attribute. A good chunk of your extra deck is light attribute. What can I say? 2 Honest. Then we run pretty much your 3 Meganiums. I'll try to pronounce this card, but every time I do, I always get laughed at because I can never pronounce this card properly. My nickname is just Meganium for her, but pretty much you use this card in combination with Herald of Ultimateness. So you can pretty much go Advanced Ritual Art, and because this is a 12-star, you have to drop 2 of these from your deck to the graveyard to special summon this guy out. So that's how that works. But the matter of the fact is that some people feel that you need to run like Ultimateness, the Dark Witch, just in case, you know, you get 2 of these and you open in your hand. But the thing with this deck, and I mean, from playing it for about 2 weeks now, I can just tell, it's either the deck explodes on your opponent, it grinds out for a little bit and then explodes, or it just packs its bags and goes home and you can't do anything. There's nothing you can do. The deck's not working with you right then and there. So if you draw 2, let the gods do what they want to you. The UV gods just don't like you right now, so you have to deal with it. But you don't want to add other vanillas really to clog up your deck. But these are the alternate artworks, by the way, I think from Show and Jump mangas. These 2 right here. So they're the same card, but this is the original artwork, I think, from... It came out of, I think, a Legend of Blue Eyes, but this one's from the Seto Kyber structure deck, the original. But yeah. 3 Meganiums. I'll try to pronounce it because everybody gets a kick out of when I try to pronounce this card. So it's called Gaiku Tenno Magamio. Magnum. Yeah, you can all laugh and shake your heads right now in shame. But yes, 3 of her. Next up, we run our 3 Upstart Goblins for consistency and your 1 Day of Peace. Sorry guys, I keep moving them right now because I'm trying to center them in the camera for you. But we run our 3 Upstarts and 1 Day of Peace. Originally, I was not wanting 1 Day of Peace, but I tried it out and I really like it. Especially if you go with Gale and Dogra and then you use 1 Day of Peace on it. Pretty nice combo. Upstart Goblin, you need it in the deck. You need consistency with this deck. I cannot emphasize that enough. I didn't run it at first and I tried it out and I said, yeah. It needs it, and it's led to good plays before. So definitely run those 3 cards. The 1 Day of Peace is optional, but I find that it comes in handy. Then we run our 2 Advanced Ritual Art. This is the way that you pitch the 2, like I said earlier, you send from the deck your 2 Megames to the graveyard to special summon out your Herald of Ultimateness. Excuse me, the special summon out your Herald of Ultimateness from your hand. So that's what this card's used for, instead of using the ritual spell itself. Next up, we run 2 Dark Factory of Mass Production. This is my own personal tech that I tried out in the deck. Now, some people are going to be scratching their heads and say, why are you playing this card? Well, just hear my reasoning out, okay? So, when you activate Advanced Ritual Art to special summon out your Herald of Ultimateness from your deck, what are you doing? You're pitching 2 normal monsters to the graveyard every single time you're going to be doing this, okay? And by doing so, that's literally 2 free negations in the graveyard. And the fact of the matter is, every time I summoned out Herald of Perfection, I was finding myself in a position where I'm like, you know what? I have a good Starcraft play that I could do, but I want to keep some fairies in hand, just in case my opponent's got something going on with their back row, or I need to respond to something they do. So I was like, I don't want to pitch these cards because then I'm just like draining my resources, so to speak. So I found that by playing 2 Factory of Mass Production, I could add these 2 back to my hand for free negations and still proceed by using the Starcraft Engine and not just pitching Starcraft cards to go off. Now, at first I was kind of questionable about this idea. I didn't know if it was going to work necessarily, running 2 Factory of Mass Production, but after testing it out, trying it out, it's worked amazingly. Every time I get this card and I get Herald of Ultimateness out, I win automatically. Because usually I have like 3 or 4 fairies in hand and they only got like 3 or 4 cards, so I'm negating anything they really have. Also, the fact of the matter is that it's just really useful. Now, I will say sometimes it does get cloggy. I did try it as a 1 of, but 2 of I found was the perfect number instead of 1. And it's just amazing. It does get clunky sometimes, but I mean, that's the thing with this deck. Like I said earlier, it either, you know, goes off really well, you either grind out, you get a Manju, then you're able to special summon and then use this, or you just go home. So that's the way the deck works, I find, personally. Then we run our last spell, which is 1 Regeki. Simple. Amazing card. Then we run our 3 traps, 3 called the Haunted. I tried out Powerful Rebirth, That was Mas o Menos. I tried out Dragon Souls of Oasis. You could literally take one Call of the Hound out and replace it with Dragon Soul of the Oasis if you wanted to, but I just found the 3 Call of the Haunted worked better because I want my monsters like my Starcraft Scepter, my Archlord Christia in attack mode. So that's why I decided to run the 3 Call of the Haunted instead of Oasis or Powerful Rebirth or anything else really. So that was just player choice right there. You can try Dragon Souls of Oasis out. It did work out for a while, but it was only for like if I'm trying to make defensive moves, and if I was making defensive moves, I was already on the losing end of the duel, I felt like. So, whatever. And I mean, yeah, you could bring this back in defense mode, but it's only got 1,000 defense, so with a Dragon Soul of Oasis, that is. So that's up to you there as the player. Next, we run 2 Herald of the Arclight. Like I said earlier, this is so you can use your Garen Dogra, send this to the graveyard, get a search off of it. If you want to bring it back with, you know, which happens once in a blue moon, I'll bring it back with Call of the Haunted for, you know, negating something of my opponent. So once in a while you do that. Then you run your 3 ofs, Stellar Knight Detaros, Evil Swarm Ouroboros. You can run another Detaros, but I don't have one at the moment because I'm waiting for the Megatins to, you know, reprint more. So just have one in the Ouroboros. Number 104 Masquerade, good card. The Starcraft card exactly, number 102 Starcraft Sentry. Apologize for the background noise. Then we run for the rank 4s, number 101 Salic Arc Honor's Knight, Castel the Sky Musketeer, XYZ Rebellion Dragon, Kuganika Luminescent Knight comes in handy, number 104 Ragnar Zero, number 103 Ragnar Zero, excuse me. Then I run just some other one-ofs. Gagaga Samurai sometimes comes in handy. Abyss Dweller comes in handy. Gagaga Cowboy comes in handy. And Evil Swarm Exciton Knight. Nuke the Field is always good. So these are pretty much just some other ones I go into. Abyss Dweller is usually the most common one I go into. So guys, that is the deck profile for my Herald of Ultimateness deck. And I apologize for the construction work in the background and the noise you guys hear. But like I said, I know I felt when I was looking up this deck, because I used to play Herald of Perfection back in the day, and I used to play Herald of Perfection Agents, and then I played just Herald of Perfection in general with like the Spirits for a while before Preparation of Rites got hit. And so I've always loved Herald of Perfection because of its negating power. Ever since I brought the original Herald of Perfection from my friend back in the day. And then when I saw this card coming out, I was like, ooh, it's really good, but I didn't really think it was going to be viable until I saw the Starcrafts were coming out. And then I said, okay, I see where this goes. And I looked up some profiles, and I tried to make the deck more of my own, but at the end of the day, I found the best way was just pretty much running it the way this is. And I know that may look similar to other people's builds, like I said earlier, but I found that that's the best way to run the deck. And I did try to add my own little text, like, you know, Dark Factory of Mass Production, because I found that when I used to run that back in the day with Herald of Perfection, I'd be pitching like a Dark Demanus Witch, and then, you know, a Shining Ball. If I was playing Herald of Perfection Agents, you activate the Dark Factory Mass Production, get those 2 free cards back to your hand, those 2 vanillas, and you have 2 free negations right there off the bat, which is pretty nice to have. So I tried it out in the deck from past experience, taught me that from playing this deck, and I put it into this deck, and it seemed to work out fine. But I just want to apologize for that, guys, because I'm not trying to net deck, but I just found that this was the best way, and I tried to see if there's any other cards I could add into it, and I just, until Nodin comes out, I guess I just can't play anything else differently. But till next time, guys, take care, have fun dueling, good luck dueling, hope you all enjoy this deck profile for the guy that says no. But till next time, guys, take care, everybody, and good luck dueling to all of you. Seto Kaba, I'm out of you guys till next time, and good luck dueling to all of you. And like I said, I just felt that the Starcraft Engine was the best engine for this deck and worked perfectly well with the Herald of Ultimateness. But take care, everybody.